Hi, and welcome to my lair where I talk about whatever's on my mind at the moment. And at the moment, it's can Christians enjoy anime? I've actually been wanting to make a video about this topic for a while now, but I haven't been able to out of procrastination and simply I wasn't ready to share my own testimony and viewpoints just yet. But now I've had some time since that initial thought, and considering this Sunday is Easter, happy Easter if you're watching this on the 5th, by the way. But yeah, I figured now is a perfect time to talk about it. But before I get to the anime stuff, I should probably tell you a bit of my background. So, my family was Catholic, but not devout. And I never went to Sunday school. We went to church because it was tradition. So I knew of Christ, but at a young age, I wasn't trying to get to know him, you know? At the time, I considered myself an agnostic. Until life decided to pile down more problems on me than what I could carry on my own anymore. And I had to acknowledge that Jesus is my only salvation and gave my burdens to him. I surrendered my life and was reborn again in 2024 and was baptized last year. Yay! But yeah, needless to say, I'm new to the being a Christian part. And so I didn't want to immediately speak outwardly on something I'm still learning to be, which is a worthy Christian. I say worthy, but I know nothing I say or do will ever make me quote worthy. It's literally Christ giving his life for me is what allows me to be in the presence of God. I guess what I mean is I'm thankful to Christ, so I want to show my gratitude to him by following his teachings. Now, I'm not saying I've become holier than thou. No, I'm far from perfect, and I'm still a sinner just as anyone else, and still struggle with some vices. But in learning to follow Christ, I've become more mindful of what I say and do, and what and who I choose to surround myself with. Not that I was a wild or crazy person to begin with, but just your average person, no better or worse than the next. Alright, so to the anime stuff. I've mentioned this in my other video that I grew up in Japan and that anime and mangas were always readily available to me. From the good, the bad, the ugly, and the not so kid friendly. Trust me, I've seen and read things I shouldn't have at a young age. I was exposed to things in movies, TV shows, video games, etc. that were not just in the Japanese media. Western culture is just as crazy, guys. But yeah, not much can shock me when it comes to strange, dark, or taboo concepts. But still, even back then, before becoming a Christian, I couldn't negate that some of these things did give me the ick. Before coming to my faith, anime and manga had somewhat shaped my moral compass, is what I used to believe. Characters I looked up to were good guys, and I naturally gravitated towards stories that depicted good versus evil in some shape or form, no matter what the genre was. But what I've been learning is what I've considered common sense were all along just footnotes of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. And all along, the divine was speaking to me in anime and mangas of all places. I was either willfully or unknowingly just metaphorically deaf to hear it and blind to see his presence at the time. And if you're a girl in Japan, BL is something you'll come across as an extension of the romance genre. It's almost kind of like a way of passage, a pipeline of shoujo to josei to BL. So yes, I've consumed my fair share of BL content, which I got peer pressured into reading because of my friends. They introduced me to doujinshis of mangas that were popular at the time. At first, I didn't want to read two characters who obviously were not in a romantic relationship bumping uglies. But like any kid that wanted to fit in with their friends, I eventually gave in. But now, for obvious reasons, I avoid certain genres of animes and mangas. I try to anyways. I'm not going to lie and say I completely went cold turkey. If you're one of those people, congrats. You're far more disciplined than I am. For me, I would maybe equate it to trying to quit smoking or alcohol for my health. In this case, for the health of my soul. Disclaimer though, I've never been a smoker, nor have I been an avid drinker. But yeah, the struggle is real. It's hard not to be tempted to check out an anime that has my favorite seiyus in them, or skip a manga that has really pretty artwork. Seriously, Lord help me. Pray for me, guys. But for real though, there are far more enjoyable anime and mangas out there for Christians than there are to avoid. If anything, if you are a Christian, you'll notice the DNA, the essence of the Bible peeking through in so many animes and mangas. I'd love to give some examples, but I think I'll save that for later. If not, we'll be here for hours. In conclusion, I'd say yes to, can Christians enjoy anime or even mangas for fun? They're the only entertainment I feel that has any good substance at the moment. But I'm not saying go watch every single thing that's out there, no. Listen to the spirit. If you know it's going to bother your conscience, then don't watch it. But yeah, that's about it from me. Thanks for listening till the end, and if you found this entertaining, please leave a like. And if you're a Christian, what anime do you recommend? And even if you're not, what anime would you recommend to a Christian? I personally would recommend Demon Slayer, Trigun, Cells at Work, Fruits Basket, and The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity. I have way more, but these are pretty good starters. Alright, until next time then, have a great day and night, and God bless.